Governor Gavin Newsom signed a new law to prevent sex abuse in California schools. The legislation comes with sweeping changes to protect students from any misconduct by school employees. Senator Sasha Renée Pérez is the author of the Safe Learning Environments Act, and she's here to talk about the new rules, which go into effect January 1st. We have a little bit of time before this goes in, but it's my understanding that you had your own experience, and you had your own experience within your district that really pushed you to want to see some of this start happening in schools.
Yeah, so, I had an experience when I was a high school student in which a school staff member tried to initiate a romantic relationship with me and attempted to groom me. And fortunately, I understood that this was incredibly inappropriate, and I ran away. At the time, because I was 17 years old, I was very scared. I didn't tell any adult, and I just shared this with other students and ended up discovering other stories and talking with them. And we've now seen, unfortunately, other cases of this in my district as well. There's currently an investigation going on into Rosemead High School over a years-long period of many of these cases, and many survivors have come forward and shared their stories.
And I think, what's so hard is that so many survivors end up blaming themselves.
Yes.
And it's a confusing time because
Yes.
you're in this big time of change. And these types of incidents are things that can stick with you your entire life. You can be dealing with this type of trauma.
Absolutely. And that's what I've heard from so many of the survivors that I've spoken to is, this is something that they continue to deal with. Many of them actually now have children that are in school, and they have so much fear and anxiety just sending their own kids to school.
I mean, that makes sense. And for those who haven't had this happen, I think what's surprising to parents is that they don't realize there are teachers actually flagged for this type of abuse who end up being able to move to another school without any repercussions whatsoever. It's called passing the trash. How can something like this happen so easily?
Well, there's really a couple of different ways. I think one of the most common ways that this happens is there will be an ongoing investigation. So a determination will not ultimately be made, and that'll be a key time abusers often leave one school district and move to another because they know that they're about to be discovered. And the school district that they move to won't know that this person's under investigation. And so my bill seeks to close that gap by creating a database system that will inform the new employer that they are under investigation. We've also seen other policies be moved forward to end the use of NDAs so that when school teachers leave, they'll actually say, well, we're going to sign a non-disclosure agreement. If you don't share this, I will leave and I will not ask for a payout. Which is highly inappropriate. We've actually done away with that here in the state of California as well.
I just can't believe, though, we didn't have a system in place before this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do want to say there is a little opposition to this bill from certain groups. We reached out to the California School Employees Association. They sent us a statement that I'd like to read briefly. The bill would allow school districts to place employees in a statewide misconduct database based only on accusations with no neutral review or fair appeal. What do you have to say to people who are expressing concerns that this could open up people who may be innocent in these particular instances?
So this is an internal database system that only employers would have access to. This is not a public database. In addition to that, when somebody is under investigation, the database will clearly showcase that they are under investigation. Once a determination is made, if somebody is found innocent, they'll be removed from the database. And I want to highlight, this is not a new policy. California is actually one of 16 states that does not have a database like this. And so it's incredibly important that we plug this gap. The U.S. Department of Justice, as well as our own state agencies, FCMAT, have recognized that this is an important tool that the state needs to implement to address this issue.
Well, that's why haven't we seen these guardrails before?
I think for a long time, it's been a very difficult topic, an uncomfortable topic for us to discuss. It is less than 1% of teachers and staff that commit egregious misconduct, but because they move around from district to district, that 1% creates a lot of harm.
Right.
We now have passed laws like AB 218, which opened up the window for people to be able to file lawsuits, which has created over $3 billion in lawsuits for school districts alone. This is now having financial impacts for taxpayers, and we need to have accountability here. We cannot continue operating the same way.
It's all really, really interesting information and things definitely to process. Thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it.